Hey, what's up, guys? It's been a hot minute. Both of us had little separate schedules this weekend to talk about overlay, but we are back again today. We want to run through tonight's slate. Now, clearly, we make the videos during the day so people can watch them. It doesn't do us any good to drop them 30 minutes before a lot because nobody has an opportunity to watch them. There's a lot still to be determined today, waiting on a couple of injuries. Obviously, my boy Giannis, potential personal reasons may not play tonight, so there's still a lot of stuff that we have to worry about.
Yeah, I might play the heaviest I've ever played on overlay tonight. I've got a little bit in my account, and I'm pissed off that I had a bad beat last night, and that $55 cost me $500. Still took top 10% though in the $22, and really, I just am going to go for that jackpot. So I'm going to enter that a couple times tonight.
That is a big jackpot, my friends. We are talking 5 digits, baby. 5 digits and some change, over 10K. Find a way to go 12-0. And again, we're not going to pretend like going 12-0 is easy. Clearly, it's not. That's why the jackpot's up where it is. Somebody took down the Pee-wee last week. Why not the double deuce? I'm with you. If you're going to spend multiple entries, why not do it when the jackpot is way up there? It's kind of like when people buy lottery tickets because it's $400 million. Not that they're going to complain if they won 12, but if they're going to waste their money on nothing, this is not wasting your money, but I'm saying when you play the lottery, well, why not at least do it when it's like 10 times bigger?
Exactly. I mean, if there's any time to take it down, it's right now.
Exactly. So again, like a lot of times you'll play one lineup, but you might play a couple tonight because it is a big jackpot and somebody's got to win it eventually. Why not you?
Exactly, man. That's why, it's at this point, I feel like it's closer to being one than not one, because at some point it's just going to happen.
All right, guys, let's get into our actual picks for today. And we got LeBron James against Anthony Davis right here. This is a classic Matt Ryan matchup. And what I mean by that is if you break down their production throughout the season, LeBron is very steady, right? Like the highs aren't too high, the lows aren't too low. Anthony Davis is kind of all over the place. I like Anthony Davis tonight, though. I don't know what it is. Call it a gut feeling. He's calling to me. So I will pivot off my normal LeBron love and roll with the brow tonight.
I'll roll Anthony Davis also, but I'm not going to pick it.
No, me either. Like I never we talk about this every time we break these down. I hate picking against other studs. You know what I mean? Because Davis can ball anywhere, and the same goes for King James.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will pick the next one though. Give me Jokic over Towns all day long.
Yeah, I'll take Jokic over Towns as well.
And I will pick that one.
Yeah, you probably like it more than I do, but I will still pick it as well.
All right. Moving down from there, Trae Young, appreciate what he did for me yesterday. This one seems a little off, right? Because Young is usually about $1,000 more than Sabonis on pay sites, but the spot for Sabonis is way better, and it does actually make a lot of sense today. So I don't think I want to pick it because I don't want to bet against Trae, but I think if I did, I would actually go with Sabonis here.
It's tough, though, because Trae Young is just a much better fantasy player. I mean, Sabonis is really good, but Trae Young's a much better fantasy player.
I mean, there's a reason he's more expensive every day, right?
Yeah, it's difficult to pick Sabonis over Trae Young. I had the same feelings you did. Just seems off. So I also will lean Sabonis, but it's just one that's really hard to figure out for me.
Yeah, Trae Young he's that one step below stud on pay sites. You know what I mean? Like he's not quite Giannis and Harden, but he has a lot of Giannis and Harden type of games. He's not quite as consistent, probably because his team sucks and they get rolled so often. It's a terrible spot for him today, though. Double OT.
I was going to say, who his fantasy production reminds me a lot of?
No, I don't.
Steph Curry.
I mean, their games they're similar, right?
Yeah, they are.
Sick handles.
Curry's better in real life, but Young might be better in fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, the spot's better for him, too, because he doesn't play with other studs other than Collins, we'll get to next. So sure. I would lean Sabonis here, but I don't want to pick it because I don't want to bet against Trae Young. It is even though the spot for Sabonis is so much better than Trae Young, it's Trae Young.
Exactly.
All right. Vooch versus Collins. I'll go with Vooch tonight. The spot's better for him. There's a lot of days right now where I would pick Collins over Vucevic, but the spot for Vucevic is so much superior today. Didn't play 2 overtimes yesterday, didn't travel. Big spot for Orlando. And he's not that much. I don't know. Him and Collins are close, so I'll go Vooch today.
Yeah, I'll go Vooch as well.
All right, Porzingis versus Gobert. Give me Porzingis.
Give me Porzingis as well.
We just talked about him. He was really good points per minute the other day, despite the fact he basically lived his entire game in perpetual foul trouble.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any idea when Luka's back?
I think hopefully he comes back like for 2 games before the All-Star break.
Okay. All right. Next up, Bam versus Siakam. No Butler. I'm definitely going Bam.
I think no Lowry also changes things too. So a wait and see on this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I'm more worried about the Butler thing for Bam than I am for Lowry for Siakam, but it does apply for both of them right here. So it's a tough one to really give a firm answer on.
For sure.
All right, Lamb versus Turner. Give me Turner. Brooklyn is very good against wing players. They are terrible against centers and point guards.
Give me Turner as well.
Oladipo in the starting lineup today, so Lamb's with the second unit. Not really sure that matters. It could actually be good for him.
Truth.
All right. Prince versus Harris. We talk about this all the time. These two are tough, but we tend to prefer Harris in pace down spots like Indiana and Prince in pace up spots.
Harris has been good recently, though, oddly enough. So I will choose Harris here no matter what. I mean, it's a better spot. He's been better.
So that confirms what we're looking at anyways. I'll deal with that. All right. Fultz versus Fournier. I'm going to go with Evan Fournier. I like him against a bad defense like this. I like the spot for both guys, but I'm going to choose Fournier today.
I'm going to choose Fultz. I like the spot for both of them. I just have he has the ball in his hands more. I could see both being good.
Agreed. All right. So we talked about both of these guys today, Devontae Graham and Christian Wood. It's a tough one.
It is. Markieff Morris being back makes me lean Graham. If he were out, I would definitely go Wood, but I lean Graham.
This is a real tough one because kind of have to like the spot for Wood. Again, we broke down the Markieff Morris thing. We don't know what Markieff Morris is going to do today. We kind of agreed like 35 minutes or 0 minutes, and I'm not surprised by anything in between those two numbers.
Agreed wholeheartedly.
The missed shots makes me like Wood a little bit because Graham has a tendency to get cold from time to time, but I do like what I've seen from Graham lately. I won't pick this one.
Same. Me neither.
Okay. I think I would lean Wood right now, even though I like Graham today, but that could definitely change for me by the end of the day.
For sure.
All right, Middleton versus Fox. I mean, again, if Giannis is out, this is one of the easiest ones on the board, but Middleton's playing really well right now. I think I'll take him either way.
I'll take Fox if Giannis is in. Obviously, Middleton if Giannis is out.
All right. Bledsoe versus Buddy Hield. I'm going to go with Buddy Hield today if Giannis is in, and I'll obviously go Eric Bledsoe if Giannis is out.
Same.
All right. Moving down there to the two studs from San Antonio, DeRozan versus Aldridge. This is another one I don't really want to pick because it's very close. I think gun to head, I would go DeRozan, but for no real rhyme or reason.
I think it's DeRozan for me also.
Okay. I already know your answer to the next one.
It's none.
That's none of your business, but yeah, that's I knew you were going to go there. I'll probably go with Dragic just because I'm more of a Dragic guy than a Nunn guy, but I know you like Nunn today, and that's where you're going to end up. And I'm not really going to sit here and argue with you because my answer includes very little factual data.
I just like the fresher legs or the younger legs on a back-to-back, especially in a game that could Miami's obviously the better team here. So I like both of them. I prefer
And if Butler plays, then I'll definitely go Nunn.
For sure.
All right. Your boy Oubre versus Jamal Murray. I'll definitely take Murray here.
Same.
Okay. Van Vliet versus Mitchell. Hey, no Kyle Lowry. Definitely give me Van Vliet. If Kyle Lowry is in, it gets a lot tougher, and then I probably would go Mitchell.
Same. I will go Van Vliet definitely if Lowry's out. I will go Mitchell, though, if Lowry's in.
All right. Wiggins versus Dinwiddie. Give me Dinwiddie.
Give me Wiggins. LeVert seems like he's really taken over a lot of that ball handling role. Wiggins he's their best player right now, so I'll take Wiggins.
Ooh, you're a bad team if Wiggins is your best player. Yeah. Also, if no Butler, Miami's defense is missing some guys. I just am so anti-Andrew Wiggins. It's hard for me to pick him, but I can't really logically argue with you either.
For sure. I know that kills you.
All right. Malcolm Brogdon versus Reggie Jackson. Here's a tough one.
I'm going to have you go first.
I'm going to go with Jackson. With Oladipo in the starting unit, I'd just like to see how that affects Brogdon.
It is a very tough one. I won't choose it. I'll go Reggie as well.
Okay, Karis LeVert versus Draymond Green. A couple of Swiss Army knife type of players like this. Give me Draymond.
Man, I don't really like either of these guys tonight. I'll agree with you and say Draymond.
Okay. Serge Ibaka versus Aaron Gordon. All right, I'm going to go with your boy Aaron Gordon. I never pick him, but against Atlanta, it's a good spot for him to shine.
Amen.
All right, Bielisa versus Bogdanovic. We talked about this. Clearly, I was wrong on Bogdanovic yesterday. I managed to pick his worst game in I don't know, forever, basically. So he's on my bad side right now because I brought him up on the show yesterday, and he was bad. You talked about how in real life, though, he had one hell of a close to this game, basically attributing the entire win to him for Utah. So you like that for today. Bielisa could get some open threes. I'm going to go with Bogdanovic. He's just more steady, in my opinion.
Same. That spot for Bogdanovic was good yesterday, man. Like the small team that shoots a lot of threes. Covington just played him really well. They really took him out of the game. What I didn't realize is he had crushed them the last time they played, I guess, and they made it a priority to just take him out of the game. They did it. I don't see Dallas doing that tonight. I like Bogdanovic a lot here, and I do like Bielitsa, but not as much as Bogdanovic.
It was funny. I kind of brought that up on Members Only yesterday. I said my only hesitation on Bogdanovic is the fact that Robert Covington's a tough matchup for him, but I wasn't expecting them to blanket Bogdanovic with him. Well, my bad side was the side that came through. I hate when that happens.
For sure.
All right. Your boy Murray versus Ricky Rubio. I will go with Rubio if Ayton is out.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll know. And that's what would you do? Just probably not pick it.
If you didn't know, probably not pick it. Like, I hate picking Murray any day just because with Popovich messing with that guard rotation, you never really know what he wants to do. Rubio has been obviously not great over the past month, really with Ayton coming back. But if Ayton's out today, I feel comfortable with it. But like you said, we may not know.
For sure.
All right, Kuzma versus Terrence Ross. I'll take Terrence Ross.
I will too. Kuzma looks very underwhelming, man.
Yeah, I can't argue at that point at all because it's true. Ross is playing well lately, and Atlanta's a great spot for an Orlando team that needs many, many wins.
Do you think that Kuzma could ever be as good as like Brandon Ingram?
No.
Yeah, not even close, right?
You definitely, well, I don't think the Pelicans probably ever wanted Kuzma as wanted Ingram. Like, the ceiling for Ingram is just more. He's got dominant wing written all over him.
Yeah, he's got like dominant scorer type that can get you buckets like whenever. Kuzma is not that guy at all.
No, he's not. He's been an overachiever in his young portion of his career. And I don't think Kuzma's career is over or anything like that. I just think he's struggling to fit in with LeBron and AD, obviously being the best two players by a distant margin. And now they got these other guys like Green and Bradley who can shoot threes. Just seems like a young guy who's a little lost right now. But
I definitely agree with you that it's not like, oh, they chose him over Ingram, because I don't think New Orleans really wanted him in the same regard either. Yeah, and I also I know that they held him out. That's why they didn't get Marcus Morris, because they wouldn't deal Kuzma. So I understand why they didn't want to deal Kuzma for Morris. I mean, Morris, he's solid right now. You're right. He's a nice presence and he adds that third option, but I don't think he's tilting the scales. And Kuzma is their best young piece. Now, to the second part of that, though, Kuzma as your best young piece is a problem.
Well, Kuzma's your only young piece. You're an old team. I'm trying to think of another guy you could call young on that team.
That's it, basically. You're right. I mean, Caruso.
Well, Davis isn't old, but he's 7 years into his NBA career or something? 6 or 7?
Davis also isn't a trade chip, you know?
I can't. Is there another young player on that team anywhere?
Do you think the Lakers, maybe over the summer or whatever, will be able to get better than Marcus Morris for Kuzma?
It probably depends how Kuzma plays the rest of the year.
True.
All And again, Morris doesn't seem like he's like a long-term type of fit. I like Morris as like a filler piece for almost any team this year, but you're right. He's not tilting the scales. It's those role players.
Exactly. Like, I wouldn't deal. If they had a bunch of their young guys, then I get dealing a guy of Kuzma's talent for Marcus Morris. But not as like your by far best young trade asset or like only trade asset.
The thing about like the NBA, and I know you and I have talked about this at length, is as the years go by, people forget a lot about some of the wins in the playoffs. So in 5 years, everybody's still going to remember that Kawhi brought Toronto this championship. What they're not going to remember is the fact that Fred VanVleet shot like 65% from three-point range the last 4 games against Milwaukee. And ever since his child popped out, looked like the second coming of Ray Allen and Steph Curry, because he's not the superstar, so people forget about those role players matter. Filling your teams with the Marcuses, Morrises. They don't tilt the scales, but you need guys like that to play well in the playoffs.
For sure, no doubt about that. It's that fine line. The Lakers probably – it's tough to say. The Lakers think they can win a title this year. It's like there is no right answer because I get either side of the coin. Them dealing Kuzma to make that push for Morris this year. But if they lose this year and then it's all of a sudden wow, what do we have going forward? And bringing in Morris, while it might increase your chances slightly, maybe I don't view him highly enough as I should because I don't view him as a guy that's really changing things at all.
But the flip side of that would be I feel like the Lakers, this is their chance this year. You know what I mean? It is an open NBA. George and Kawhi have not really played together much, so they probably have more room to grow next year. I'm a big LeBron fan, but he ain't the same dude he was a couple of years ago. He's lost his athletic explosion. Now, his basketball IQ is still off the hook. He's still, arguably the greatest passer I've ever watched in my entire life. But as you lose that explosion, it ain't getting better. It's only getting worse.
Yeah, and the West is stacked as always, man. Lakers versus Houston in the second round or whatever, that would be a real good series.
So I think the Lakers got to do, again, now that the trade deadline's passed, it becomes a lot more difficult, but you got to be in it to win it this year. Kevin Durant's not in the league this year. The Warriors, they could go back to being good again next season. There's other teams going to beat you. Denver could continue to get better.
I was hearing, on the trade deadline day about Marvin Williams, before it was known he was going to go to Milwaukee, that the Lakers need Marvin Williams. He'd be such a good piece for them. I'm like, is this the same Marvin Williams that has been barely gotten off the bench for Charlotte? I get it. Those pieces are fine. But on this other hand, if you're really counting on guys like Marvin Williams, and I get it, you're never really counting on a guy like that. I think you kind of just got to go with what got you there. And I do think the Lakers, with or without Morris, are right up there with the other teams that have a shot to win a title this year.
Well, I think their odds with Vegas are the best by actually a pretty good margin. I thought I saw that the other day when I was at the gym. They are favored by a good amount. I just don't know if I see it that way. I like the Lakers, but they have been beating up on bad teams all year. They have not been great against other really, really good teams. Obviously, they've lost to the Clippers. They got their butts kicked by Milwaukee. And I don't know. For me, the Lakers window is real small compared to a Clippers team, which could easily be better next season.
Speaking of the Clippers, just on a last note before we go, just a sneak preview into tomorrow. The Clippers play at Philly tomorrow. Who wins?
Clippers.
It's a close one, though. Philly's played good at home against good teams.
They have. I need to see more out of Philly right now. For me, again, who plays for the Clippers? To me, they'll get up for that challenge too. The only time I remember the Clippers not really showing up this year when it mattered was when they got rolled by my Bucks.
Yeah, agree. That's why it should be a good game though, because both teams should show up.
And the one guy who could be the difference maker Embiid. There is, man, if he goes full good Embiid against Zubac, come on now. How are you going to check him? I love Montrezl Harrell, but he is legitimately 8 feet shorter than Joel Embiid.
Philly couldn't beat them in a series, but one game at home. I think it should be a good one.
Right. And which Embiid shows up? The Embiid that got called out or the Embiid who was called out because of how he played?
Exactly.
So, it should be an interesting game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, thank you very much. The website link to Overlay is below. Go click on it, get your money in, go deposit yourself about $110 so you can play that $22 contest 5 days in a row. Try to win that big money jackpot before Matt does.
Let's get it, guys.
But actually, Matt, I'm rooting for you.
Thanks.